Imagine this, a modern-day ghost ship, a massive cargo vessel, the size of a skyscraper laid on its side, is found adrift in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. A patrol plane spots it first, completely off its registered course, moving silently through the waves. Rescue crews are dispatched, and as they board, a chilling silence greets them. The ship, the Stargazer, is in pristine condition. There's no sign of a struggle, no damage from a storm, no SOS call ever sent. Down in the galley, the scene is even more unsettling. Half-eaten meals are still on the plates. A pot of coffee sits on a warmer, still hot. In the recreation room, a game of chess is paused mid-move. In the crew's quarters, laptops are open, some playing videos. Personal belongings, wallets, phones, and family photos are left untouched. It's as if every single one of the 28 crew members simply vanished into thin air mid-breath. This isn't just a fantasy. This scenario echoes real-life maritime mysteries. Take the Mary Celeste, found in 1870 to sailing aimlessly with its cargo intact, but its crew gone forever. Or the MV Joyita in 1955, discovered partially submerged and abandoned, its 25 passengers and crew missing, with life rafts still on board. Investigators in our story would be baffled. The ship's logs show nothing unusual, just routine entries about weather and position. The last entry was made just 3 hours before the ship was first spotted. So, what happened? Piracy? Unlikely. Nothing was stolen. A mutiny? Where did everyone go? A rogue wave. The ship is undamaged. The official investigation hits a dead end. They tow the Stargazer back to port, and it becomes a global media sensation. The families of the crew are left in agony with no answers. But the story doesn't end there. This is where our horror truly begins. The shipping company, facing financial ruin, has to get the Stargazer back in service. They assemble a new skeleton crew to sail it to the scrapyard, a final, short voyage. Our main character, let's call him Alex, is a veteran sailor, skeptical of ghost stories and in desperate need of the money. He takes the job, leading a small team of equally desperate, hard-nosed sailors. They're told to ignore the superstitions, stick to their tasks, and get the ship to its destination. The first few days are tense but uneventful. The crew nervously jokes about the ghost ship. They try to create a sense of normalcy, cleaning out the previous crew's belongings, a somber and eerie task. Alex tries to keep morale up, but even he can't shake the feeling of being watched. The ship groans and creaks, as all old ships do, but on the Stargazer, every sound seems to carry a weight, a memory. Then, the strange things start. First, it's small. A crew member swears he heard whispers over the ship's intercom, but checks show the system is off. Another sees a fleeting shadow dart across a corridor on the security cameras, but the playback shows nothing. Tools go missing from the engine room only to reappear in the galley. The coffee pot in the galley is found inexplicably full and hot in the morning, even though no one made any. Alex tries to rationalize it all. It's an old ship, the wiring is faulty, the stress is getting to everyone. He's the captain, he has to maintain order. But one night, he's reviewing the ship's logs in the bridge when he hears it himself, a faint, melodic humming. It seems to come from the very hull of the ship. He follows the sound, a strange compulsion guiding him. It leads him to the cargo hold, a vast, cavernous space filled with sealed containers. The humming is stronger here, a low, resonant frequency that makes his teeth ache. He feels a sudden, irrational fear, a primal instinct screaming at him to get out. He retreats, shaken, telling himself it's just the engine's vibrations. The next day, things escalate. One of the crew, a young engineer named Ben, becomes obsessed with the humming. He claims it's a signal, a message. He starts spending all his time in the cargo hold, trying to pinpoint its source. He becomes withdrawn, his eyes wide and unfocused. He mutters about the song of the deep and the call. Alex confines him to his quarters, worried about his mental state. But that night, Ben disappears. A search of the ship finds nothing. His cabin is empty, the door locked from the inside. Panic begins to set in. The crew is now convinced the ship is cursed. They demand Alex turn back, but they're in the middle of nowhere, days from any port. Turning back is just as dangerous as going forward. That night, a storm hits. Not a normal storm, but a freakishly violent one that appears out of a clear sky. Waves crash over the deck, and the ship is tossed like a toy. During the chaos, another crew member is lost, washed overboard by a wave that seems to deliberately target him. Now, only Alex and two others remain. The humming is louder than ever, no longer subtle, but an omnipresent drone that seems to vibrate through their bones. It's not just a sound anymore, it's a presence. They start having shared nightmares, visions of a vast, dark space beneath the waves, of colossal shapes moving in the abyss, and of a single, immense eye opening in the crushing blackness. They realize the humming is a call, a summons from something ancient and vast that has slumbered in the deep. They finally understand what happened to the original crew. They weren't taken. They answered the call. The ship had passed over the resting place of this entity, and its call had resonated with them, drawing them, one by one, to the railing, to the dark water, to become part of the deep. The Stargazer isn't a ghost ship, it's a lure. A fishing vessel for a creature beyond human comprehension. In a desperate final act, Alex and the remaining survivors decide they must sink the ship. It's the only way to stop the call, to prevent the Stargazer from ever luring another soul to its doom. As they work to scuttle the vessel, the entity's influence grows stronger. The ship itself seems to fight them. Doors slam shut, corridors seem to shift and change, and the humming becomes a deafening roar that clouds their thoughts, promising peace and release if they would just listen, if they would just answer. In the climax, as the ship is finally taking on water, one of the last crew members succumbs. His eyes glaze over, and he walks calmly towards the deck, a blissful smile on his face, stepping over the railing without a second thought. Now, only Alex is left. He's in the flooding engine room, the water rising around him. The humming is in his head, a beautiful, terrifying chorus. He sees visions of the first crew, their faces serene, beckoning him from beneath the waves. The entity is promising him an end to all pain, a place in its eternal consciousness. For a moment, he's tempted, the exhaustion, the terror it could all be over. But then he thinks of his family, of the world above the waves. With his last ounce of strength, he fights the call. He triggers the final explosion to rupture the hull, a last act of defiance. Our final shot is from a distance. The Stargazer slips beneath the waves, its lights flickering out for the last time. The humming stops. Silence returns to the ocean. Does Alex survive? We could leave it ambiguous. Perhaps a rescue helicopter spots a lone figure clinging to a piece of wreckage. Or perhaps the silence is all that's left. The horror here isn't a monster you can fight. It's an idea, a sound. It's the terrifying notion that the vast, unexplored ocean holds things so ancient and powerful that our existence is utterly insignificant. That we could be called away from our lives by a song from the deep and no one would ever know why. You're left with that chilling thought. The next time a ship is found silent and empty, it might not be a mystery, it might be an answer. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the abyss, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next story. Let me know in the comments what you think happened on the Stargazer. Until next time, stay safe out there.